Hey guys, what's up? MadSeason here, back with another video for you. I have quite a few gold guides on my channel, so I thought it might be a good idea to show you how to hang on to the gold that you've earned. So the topic for this video will be about scams in the game and what to look out for and how to avoid them. I think it happens to everyone eventually. It certainly happened to me before, and some viewers have reported the same, so let's get into it. The biggest red flag, and this is something that sweeps across pretty much everything in game, is Skype or other third-party means of communication. If a trade ever goes wrong and somebody tricks you out of your gold, the only way a GM can help you is if there are chat logs between you and the scammer agreeing to a deal. So to get around this, a popular strategy with people is to go over all of the details of the trade through some form of third-party communication, be it Skype, Discord, or whatever else. They don't want to have any chat logs that would incriminate them, so when you do make a ticket they will get banned or whatever. So for whatever you want to buy or trade, if the first thing they ask you for is your Skype information, take it as a big warning sign because chances are they have ulterior motives. But that's not to say that anyone that uses that stuff is a scammer. If it's a trusted person on your server, by all means go for it. But if you can, try to establish an agreement in your in-game chat just in case. Next up, I should talk about scripts. Something that happened during the Warlords of Draenor expansion was that people found a way to where if you ran a certain in-game script, it would auto-trade them your gold. They would advertise a pug raid in trade chat and then say run the script to make sure that your UI is set up for raiding or whatever. And when you did it, if you were in range, a trade window would flash up and your gold would be gone. So the best way to avoid this obviously is to never run any script that a stranger asks you. This particular scam took advantage of a vulnerability with the Weak Ores add-on, and they would ask you to download a custom script that they created through the in-game interface. So never do that unless you trust the person. Another thing to look out for that really started to ramp up during Draenor are TCG items. Every once in a while when there's a dupe wave going out, you'll start seeing level 1 spamming in trade chat trying to sell TCG mounts or pets for ridiculously cheap prices. For some reason, it seems like they're always priests, which is kind of weird. While this technically isn't a scam since you'll get the item for whatever price they wanted, they are duped items 99% of the time and people have reported getting banned for making the trade. Now I think this is automated because to the common player, they really don't have any indication that these mounts are really dupes, and when people put in tickets after the ban, they usually get their accounts restored. In my opinion though, it's not worth the risk because there's never a guarantee. If you really want them though, the safest means hands down is to go through the auction house. It's only a problem if you're doing shady trades with level 1 priests in a Stormwind alleyway. Another thing to look out for is anybody selling anything from the in-game store, be it mounts or pets, or game time codes for that matter. There are two problems with this. First is that it's always a scam. Basically the way it works is that a scammer will advertise saying that they'll give you a code for these mounts or in-game time in exchange for gold, but these are either bought with a stolen credit card or they just do a chargeback a day after the trade. Either way, you'll get an email saying that there was a problem with your account and your mount or in-game time gets taken away. The second problem is that it is against the terms of service which you've agreed to. Any trade with gold for anything that's in the real world or has real world value, in this case the codes, isn't allowed and you run the risk of getting a ban. So definitely stay away from anything like that. While we're on this subject though, let's talk about carry groups since I see a lot of confusion about this. As long as you're paying or receiving gold for a carry of any kind, it's not against the terms of use 100%. If however you bring real money into the equation, that's when it crosses that threshold of breaking that agreement and your account is actionable. But something to keep in mind is that just because it isn't against the terms of use doesn't mean you have any recourse if you do get scammed. And this is because this sort of trade falls under the unsupported transactions category, and this is what's causing some confusion. What this means is that while it's fine for you to do in-game, if the carrier group decides that they just want to take your gold and not fulfill their end of the bargain, a GM will basically tell you that you're SOL. Now this doesn't mean that that person won't get suspended or else that's all people would do. This just means that you can't get your gold back. And that's even if you establish a trade agreement in the in-game chat. So definitely be very careful if you do something like this. There are plenty of legit carry groups out there, so just make sure you do your research on the person or guild before you make the trade. While we're on this subject though, to give you a broader idea of what unsupported transactions are, it's basically anything that you can't put into a trade window. So boss kills, dungeon, arena, or raid carries, selling guilds, buying guild signatures, loaning gold to someone with the promise that he or she will pay it back, you get the picture. At the end of the day, the best way to protect yourself is to make sure whoever you're trading with is trustworthy. If it's a level 1 character, they don't have a guild, they speak broken English, or they won't talk in-game and want you to use Skype, that's no good and you should take it as a big red flag. But that's about it, I guess. I hope this video enlightened you and helps you to be more careful with this sort of stuff. And I also hope you found it helpful. Give it a like if you liked it, and if you really liked it, let me know in the comments and subscribe. And as always, thanks for watching, good luck, and peace.